I had one of the springs come shooting apart. I fixed it, but and it's just one of those times where nothing is going right.
A while back, my 2019 bright yellow Golf R was rear-ended and deemed a total loss. Since I was able to buy it back for only $6,500, I decided this was the opportunity to build my dream Golf R. With some help from my super talented friends, this Golf has undergone a complete transformation. We fixed the damage, did a full Audi RS3 swap, a ton of really awesome mods, and air ride. Now it's time for all the pieces to come together so we can create my dream Golf R. Next up, we have this wild OETTINGER TCR wide body kit to install. For that, we're gonna load up the car and go see our good buddy Juan at the body shop.
Okay, this is it, the last major piece of our project. We're back where it all started, Premier Auto Body. I picked up the car before Juan was finished so we could do our RS3 swap. Now that I'm done, he has the car back. He's gonna make his final repairs, paint the car, and we're gonna put on an OETTINGER TCR wide body kit. So it's been several weeks since Juan has seen this car. Juan, I want to give you a little tour and show you all the cool stuff that we did.
Show me what you did, man.
Starting with the brakes, these are RS3 rear brakes with 034 like slotted.
So like really
rotors.
small brakes?
Actually same size brakes as the Golf, but we had to have matching calipers because we did the big boys in the front. These are 8-piston calipers, and I couldn't have red front calipers and black rear calipers, so.
They're gorgeous, they really are.
These are also the wheels that were on the RS3, and it's not the permanent wheel solution.
I imagine it's not.
The big dealio.
What is that?
is the 2.5 out of the RS3. 2.5 liter turbo, we're in the 450 or so horsepower range. We did an upgraded intercooler. It also has an 85 provision. We had to swap the coolers on the sides here.
I like that, that looks nice and tidy, like it belongs. That's crazy.
It looks like it belongs because it does. Now, we're actually not done. There's a bunch more stuff that we need to do. Obviously, the interior's all out. I have the seats from the RS3 that are gonna go in it, new headliner, dash cam, a handful of other things that we still need to sort through. But Juan, I gotta show you this part because this is what the kids came for. You ready for this?
Yeah. Hey, look at that.
Somebody broke my suspension. What I'm the most proud of is our trunk setup. So we did what every Mark IV kid should do, proper air ride install and battery cabling install. It's basically done. He loves it. He loves it.
As long as you didn't scratch any of my paint on the inside.
No, we worked really hard. The amount of times I said, if I do this thing, Juan's gonna kill me.
And I'm really blown away. Charles is the real deal here. He took this car, brought it back in what, 3-4 weeks with all this done. It's mind blowing. So big ups, Charles. The plan today is to make sure that we can get as close as possible to this gangster yellow that we have here. We will do a camera shot, which requires us doing a little bit of sanding, polishing, and then taking an actual camera shot of this color to try to get as close as we can to it. And you guys get a chance to actually see how we mix the color, pour the color in, making these colors as close as possible. All right, now that the paint has been mixed, guys, the next step is to take this color that we've mixed and spray it on this spray out card. And after that, we're gonna go outside and we're gonna check and make sure that the color actually hits. So let's go, all right? Put that there. We're gonna put that there. And now you get to guess which one is which.
Who put that spoiler on, Juan?
I put the spoiler on.
And what'd you tell me when you put that spoiler on?
Sucks to be that guy that's got to take it back off.
And what did I tell you after that?
That's gonna be you if it ever comes off. And here we are, guys. Sucks to be me. So here we go. We're gonna try to take this off as nicely as we can. We're gonna use some window cleaner and my nifty little knife that I am borrowing from my painter. By the way, Chris, I really like this, and if you're watching this, it's gonna go in my toolbox. Probably not gonna see it ever again.
That's it for me here. We know the car is in good hands. I'm gonna head back to my shop, get out of Juan's way so he can do his thing. So I'm out.
Hey, Weren't you supposed to bring a body kit?
In this enormous crate is our OETTINGER TCR Street Kit. This kit was sent directly from OETTINGER in Germany and is gonna make this car look absolutely insane. It includes bumpers, fenders, quarters, side skirts, door appliques, a spoiler, a hood vent. This body kit is about as extreme as it gets. And you really can't appreciate that until you see it laid out with the car. Even though the kit is new, we still need to prep it, and that task falls to Chris. We want it to look like the car came this way from the factory, so prepping each panel is vital. Filling, blocking, priming, the whole deal. And when you do your prep right, you get this. However, there's one thing that I may have neglected to tell Juan.
Okay, this is the big day. This is the day where Juan is gonna really, truly hate me because all that hard work that he did on that left rear corner, we are about to undo. He's gonna be mad, but I think once it's all done, he'll come to see that it was worth all the work to then undo all the work to redo more work. But anyway, we're cutting the rear quarters today. So as you can see, we're a little bit different than the last time you saw this car. It's up on the machine, it's completely stripped down. It is finally time. All of this man's hard work is about to be straight up ruined. How are you feeling about this?
I don't like this, guys. I don't like a single bit of it.
He worked so hard, took so much time. It's even CH approved repair. And now I gotta hand him this saw so that he can ruin it. I actually do feel a little bad that you work so hard, so I decided that maybe it should be me that...
I think you need to start it.
I don't have to be CH approved, and I've been a mechanic for 800 years, so it's fine. Juan has marked all this off, a bunch of test fitting and trialing and marking to make sure that we are as careful with this cut as possible.
We actually only get one shot at this, guys.
One opportunity. We can't miss our shot.
Yeah, we can't miss a shot.
Watch this. You're gonna get an up close view of me ruining Juan's hard work here. It's gonna be good. Okay, where was I? How's that make you feel? Jump, 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 jump. Got a little
different, right?
This is not my fault.
About this,
There's
guys.
a sad face.
Being so that Charles decided that it was a good idea to cut this car completely up after we fixed it, now we got to fix what Charles did. So thanks, Charles. I didn't know that we had to cut the car up when I signed up for this project. I don't believe Charles did either. We actually were looking into the body kit and realized that we needed to make space for the wheels. The instructions were very vague, was cut it and weld it. They didn't say create a piece or anything like that. We decided that making a filler piece in between the quarter panel and the outer wheelhouse was the best way to keep this shape and not disturb the inside too crazy. Once we cut it, I can use this belt sander to ground the edge as close as I can to the outer wheelhouse so that I can go in there and tack it and it'll look nice and clean. If you're gonna do one of these or decide to do one of these yourself, this is the best way to do it. Keeping this, the original shape was the most important part because it is going to get a big flare that's gonna go over here and we wanna keep that same contour. That's what we do here at Premier, so. All right, guys, so we got it all sealed up. We welded it as good as we could all the way across there. So now what we're putting on is a little bit of fiberglass. Fiberglass is a little bit more weather proofing. It does not absorb water like filler does. We're gonna put a light coat of glaze over the top of it and we should be nice and solid.
It's been an absolute whirlwind of craziness. They've gone through, painted the doors, painted the rear bumper, painted everything other than the front bumper cover and the shell of the car. I also found some really cheap headlight washers, the little pop-up jet dealios. We're gonna put those in at some point. I installed the DCC cancelers from KW. They remove those tiny little triangle windows that every tinter on the planet hates to tint. We've test fit everything. I think it's gonna be awesome. We are 13 days away from that car needing to be on the trailer and heading out to Wookiees. I still have the whole interior, a bunch of coating, the exhaust, intake, wheels. He said they need me here, but let's be honest, he doesn't.
So we are getting ready to bring the car into the spray booth. What you're seeing right now is me applying what's called guide coat. What that does is it basically gives me a good outline of what the actual panel is gonna look like when it's done. So I'll be able to block all this black powder that you see on there, make sure that the panel is straight and that we have the nicest, cleanest product that we can hand over to the paint shops.
One of the things with the OETTINGER kit I wasn't sure on was the scoop that goes in the hood. You have to cut a hole in the structural piece of the hood. I didn't want to fully commit to that. So what I did was I got an additional hood. We're gonna install the hood scoop in this hood, paint it, make sure it matches, and then I'll have the option of scoop, no scoop. That's what the under your hood looks like.
Thanks for giving us those seats, Charles. Really appreciate that.
With the car out of paint and looking incredible, it's time to start putting it back together. My favorite part about this is I'm not completely useless like I was for all of the rest of the bodywork.
So we just spent, what, a couple of hours putting the car together.
10 minutes.
10 minutes, Larry says, putting the car together.
This body kit has a lot of parts. Some of those parts bolt right on, but still require a good bit of finesse to properly align. For the parts that don't directly bolt on, we're going to use a mix of double-sided tape and urethane, so those parts are never coming off. But I think my favorite part is watching Juan use this laser to be sure that hood vent is perfectly aligned. With the car looking absolutely incredible, there's only one thing left to do: load it up on the trailer and get it back to the shop.
All right, so Juan has done all of the stuff he can do up to this point. Now it's time for us to get the Golf back to my shop, and the amount of work that we have to do is absurd. And to give you an idea, today is Tuesday of the week the video comes out. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 days to finish this entire car and then load it up and head to Wookiees. So I think that's enough chatter to the camera. We got to go. The Golf is back and in the shop, and I want to give you some context on our timeline. I have till Thursday morning to get this car 100% complete before it goes back to Juan from some final touches. So I'm going to start with the exhaust and get that set up. Notice the interior completely still gutted. Headliner, airbag, seats, all this trunk trim, the hatch trim, all that has to get done as well. We also have to figure out what wheel setup we're gonna run. I have Mark 8 wheels, RS3 wheels on it now. Not exactly sure what wheels we're gonna go with. And then we have this whole cart of maintenance and trim and a subwoofer and sway bar end links. And I just wanna tell you, this might be one of my favorite parts of this whole swap: yellow seat belts. So we're gonna get all this done. It's probably gonna be a bit of a sleepless couple of nights, but check back with me in a couple of hours and see how sky high my anxiety is about getting this done. Mega ups to Miltech. Stage 5, custom, one of a kind. It's pretty dope. Too bad you'll never see it. So, exhaust update. This pipe that connects to the mid pipes. All good, no problem. After several trial and error and trial, this is what I think is gonna work. So this is actually a race pipe from an S3. I got it from a Mark 8, it didn't fit, but I held on to it. I took these two pipes from my Mark 8. They have flaps in them, which is the one that doesn't have a muffler. So race mode, loud. For the pipe that actually has the muffler, Miltech sent me these turn downs. My car's actually gonna stay at Miltech for about 10 days. So in that time, we'll be able to look at it and find a more elegant solution. But for right now, that looks fresh. So roll the car back, got it to where I can open all the doors. I'm going to start, just noticing this big blob of tape right here. I'm gonna start on the interior. First up, headliner. That's gonna be, frankly, the most annoying piece that I really don't wanna do. But once the headliner's in, we can just go full go on getting this all together. I'll probably also be cleaning things along the way. There's no better time to clean when it's taken apart. So let's do it. Okay, I don't know what to say, so let's shut up and get to work, Chuck. All right, here's one of the first parts that's going back in for our interior, and it's the side curtain airbag. That's the bag that deployed on the driver's side. What's cool is just one bolt, but it has these goofy clips that are kind of a pain in the butt to get out, but luckily our bag comes with it. We gotta get moving and grooving, friends. Ooh, yeah. So our airbag's in, and now we gotta talk dash cam, which I don't even know what this is about. Now, since I have the whole interior out of this car, it's the perfect time to install some wiring for a dash cam. This is gonna be our front-facing cam. I'm not only going to mount it up, but I'm also gonna hardwire it. So it's completely 15 powered and it just works with the car. We don't have to ever mess with it. And hopefully there's no more idiots that don't see a bright yellow car and rear end it. But if they do, we'll have it on camera. Another while we're in there thing I'm gonna do is install this edgeless mirror. So this is actually a VW accessory that my buddy Dan gave me. It has HomeLink, which is a garage door opener. So this should be super simple, barely hard to do. That doesn't sound nearly as cool as super easy, barely an inconvenience, but it looks very pretty and I'd like to install it since we have it all apart. Whenever a curtain airbag deploys, you gotta replace the headliner. Actually, you probably don't have to, but it does damage the headliner pretty good. Thankfully, hatchbacks are really easy to do the headliner in and out, and we have no interior, which makes it even better. Then we can just snap it into place. You kidding me? How did it get gone? It couldn't have even... Somehow I have mismanaged the rear grab handle. The whole point of this is it's supposed to just snap in. I'm creasing it. So you might be wondering why the hell I have a bore scope putting the headliner in. It feels like April 1st, and I'm the fool. I don't know when our last update was, but it was a while ago. And you'll notice I've done essentially nothing because I've been fighting this headliner trying to get, I don't know if it's because I had it standing up for a year. I don't know if it's because like residual body issues and like, I don't know, but I have fought every single fastener coming out, going in, and it's just one of those times where nothing is going right. I needed everything to go smooth, and so far exactly nothing has. So I got new seatbelts, right? They're beautiful, yellow. Oh, there's another pyrotechnic down here on the door sill that I didn't account for. So I'm gonna have to get those. When we bring it back to the body shop, I'm probably going to just have the seats in it, not bolted down, drop the seats back in, put the door sill trims back in. It's like, man, one thing after another, but it's okay. Like, we're not out of the woods yet, but we also haven't gotten run over by a freight train yet. That freight train sounded pretty good right about now. I'm kidding, we got this. Well, I have a headliner update. As you know, I struggle bus to the wee hours of the morning, and I've done countless headliners. Usually the hard part, getting it in the car, getting it out of the car. But I think we found what is actually going on. I think we have a bad stamped headliner. Look at this right here. So this is the C-pillar, and it comes up, meets the headliner, nice and even. This is what the driver's side looks like. Now I know there's damage right here, but I'm telling you, there's not a world where I could really paint the picture of that being off, plus a half an inch, and our body lines still line up, our door still shut, and our C-pillar still actually lining up. Like, it looks pretty right. So I reached out to a buddy of mine at Volkswagen. He's trying to dig up some technical information to see if we can isolate, like, yeah, this has happened before. So I'm gonna pause on headliner complete. You're gonna see it just floppity dangly for the next little bit, and we're gonna move on to something else. I've already been working this morning on the wiring for the trunk, got everything zip tied back up, and then I think our next project after that is tackling the air ride. There we go. So I feel like when I measured all this stuff out before, we had just enough room to tuck our compressor and our modulator thing underneath the Golf's false floor. However, by the time you add any amount of material to mount things to, dunzo. Rather than trying to reinvent the wheel, I think this is what our setup is gonna look like for now. I did make a board so that we can mount everything to. This is all just a temporary thing. I have a piece of carpet I'm gonna put over it. The thing that I'm waiting for though now to finish this is our batteries. As soon as we get it, I'll set it all up and then you'll see. You'll be like, typical German technician having to do things the most complicated way possible. Get a lithium-ion battery, you do this. This next part, I'm so excited about. Speed yellow seatbelts from the amazing folks at Seatbelt Planet. Allegedly, you can have your seatbelts rebuilt even after pyrotechnics below. I hate that idea. The last thing I want to do is have a finicky seatbelt. You know, during this like last day and a half of assembly, a lot has not went right. It's frustrating, but seeing these seatbelts has got me feeling real nice. Oh God, almost crashed. We have some wheelhouse liners that go up in here, and they are ridiculous. The thing I'm noticing is that this is gonna block a little bit of this cooler. We may have to waller it. It is wheel time, and what I have in my hand is a ShopDAP approved 20 mil spacer. Now, you're thinking to yourself, Charles, that's a whole lot of spacer. You know what? I agree. This is the temporary wheel solution. They may not be the right wheels, but there are right now wheels. That's what they say. Okay, so I have laid out our trunk, battery, air ride setup. We have two batteries that are 6 volts each. They're gonna be wired in series. I'm gonna install the ground junction right over here. And it's important to note, there's a million different ways you could do this setup. This is what I'm gonna go with for now, and it's likely going to be an ever-evolving situation. For now, this is gonna be, I think, the best solution. And it's cool because we're using a similar battery setup to the VR6 EOS. You guys may remember back when I had the headliner for the Mark V, we did a video with Christian from Stitchcraft, who, by the way, you've gotta see the seat for the RS3. He fixed it. It had a deployed airbag just like my Golf. It looks like it never happened. I'm basically Christian now because look at me. I also don't really remember how he did it, so we're just, we're just gonna wing it. I feel like I should be spraying this on cardboard, not all over the door and all over my floor. Yeah, I legit don't remember. This feels right. I just remember the ropey jets of glue. Ooh, I don't know if I'm doing anything. Did Christian teach us how to fold the headliner and do it around corners? I think I used too much glue. You may think that Weird Hour only happens when Paul is here or it happened when John was here, but I'm starting to think it's just me because it happens here when it's just me. So maybe it's just me. So remember with the Audi, it had that blown pyro because the airbag's deployed. Well, there's nothing, no fuse or anything to protect this battery. So what we do to overcome that is we put a circuit breaker in it. That way, if the battery shorts out, it pops the circuit breaker, the car doesn't burn to the ground. Now, we did need a bit of a victory moment. And also I needed to make sure I didn't put the tank too far forward. So I put the RS3 back seats in and they look so good in this car. The only thing I kind of hate is this middle belt. I'm all but convinced that I'm gonna just cut it We'll have a 2+2. And I put the Euro headrests in it from my Golf. So next I need to get that USB cable that goes up to the front somewhere for the air ride. To be honest, I should have already ran that before I put the seats in, but I got excited. That's okay, this has got to come back out anyway for the door sills and that, but this was a mental health move. We got key power. All right, well, our 12-volt battery setup works. I'm just enjoying someplace uncomfortable, the back of a Volkswagen, but it's actually pretty comfortable right now. Okay, it is 1:23 a.m. on the Thursday before Wookiees. I pretty much got the entire interior done, the battery, the air ride, minus a couple of small details that I still need to get handled. Juan wants the car back so he can finish a handful of things before it's time to head up to the mountains. So my next move is to get it up to him, and the coolest part, the next time that we see this car, it's gonna be done. Our DAZA's done, our body kit's done, all of it. And I'm so excited. I can't wait to see that full completed car, mat the throttle, and romp this thing, hear how it sounds, feel how fast it is, sit in that Audi RS3 seat with a dope yellow seatbelt. So hyped. All right, this car's gotta go to Juan, and I need to sleep because I'm tired. So no Pajama Charles today. After months and months of work and the car being down for over a year, it's finally done. Our Golf R has officially been resurrected. Let's take a quick tour so I can show you guys just how awesome this car came out. We have our OETTINGER TCR wide body kit, this huge quarter flare. We have a side skirt and then the door appliques coming up to the super wide vent, like 2.5 inches wide. We have our 034 wheels from the Mark 8, which will probably get changed at some point. The 034 brake rotors and the RS3 brakes. One of my favorite parts though, the part that I know all of you guys love too, pop the hood. Whoosh. I'm just gonna step back and let you look at it. So under the hood, we have a completely different vibe than we did when we first pulled it in the shop. We have our DAZA, of course, E85 tuned from Unitronic. We have the DAZA engine cover, which I had the boys at Premier Auto paint the back part yellow. This just absolute unit intake from Unitronic as well, carbon fiber. All the wiring, all the fuses, the jump start post, all that stuff from the RS3 swapped over to the Golf, and it looks like it came from the factory this way, which that was what we wanted, right? That was our whole goal, is to make this car look like it was built from the factory the way it sits right now. And I gotta tell you, I think we nailed it. I think it's pretty safe to say that this car and this project is the biggest we've ever tackled on the channel, from the bodywork to the engine swap, the interior swap, all of it. And I gotta tell you, more so than any of the other projects we've done, this one has meant a lot to me personally. This is a car I bought brand new. To have something really crap happen and be able to resurrect it, build basically my dream Golf, all along the way working with some of my closest automotive friends, has just been awesome. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. It means the world to me that you guys have been along this journey with us, albeit on a bit more of a tight timeline, to see this car for the first time in its completed state, to drive it and romp the throttle and hear all the noises, those beautiful 2.5 noises that it makes, has just been really great. And now that the hardest work of the whole project is pretty much done, we can take a step back, take a deep breath, and enjoy it. Now, I mentioned being able to work with some of my best automotive friends like Juan and Paul, and John. We also had some really great companies supporting this whole project: Unitronic, Oettinger, 034, and an extra special thanks to the folks at Liqui Moly. They've been a great partner on the channel for a really long time, and I still have all the maintenance to do on this car: oil change, oil flush, DSG service, Haldex service. So a big thanks to all the sponsors, all my friends that helped me work on the car to get it to where we're at now, and a huge thank you to you for all the support, all the guidance, all the suggestions, all the "Charles, you missed that bolt, don't forget to tighten it." And of course, you have not seen the last of this car. You have questions, and so do I. How much horsepower does it make? Will air ride be awesome, or were you all right on what you said in episode 4? How much did all of this cost? Well, what I can tell you about the cost is it's an ever tallying thing, and I don't know fully yet the true cost. What I can tell you is that RS3 behind me, I paid about $24,000 dropped to my door, but that's only part of the equation because I'm selling parts off of it too. With that, it's time to end the series. For now. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you, and with that, I'm out. Have an awesome day, and I'll talk to you again next time, and hopefully I see y'all at Wookiees in the Woods.